is as obvious as the fact that this ring will never return to me. Then she was very satisfied that she said something unpleasant answer to this beggarly woman. And she went away. But in a couple of months, she had a dinner in her house. And she had a baked fish. So, you know what happened? When the baked fish arrived, her knife just kind of stuck on something. So she wanted at first to punish the servants because the fish was not clean, but she saw the ring on her plate. Rachel, are you making borscht? Rachel, is that true? Are you making it with beet? Please don't forget to put there some smoked pear, and on the top of your plate cut garlic and some bacon, and then you will pour borscht. You will have the best borscht on the earth. When you are serving, just add garlic and chopped bacon on the bottom of your plate. This is the secret from the best chef, Ukrainian chef. And smoked pear. If you don't have smoked pear, please add prunes. Oh my gosh, I am going to feel like to make a video, to shoot a video about borscht, and you will see it on YouTube. But it was so fun to make it online with you. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Probably the kind of alchemist's museum will be open. So what about the fish? The fish swallowed the ring, and the fisherman caught the fish, and the maid brought the fish to the market, and then the fish was brought to the kitchen. And then the woman, this merchant, recalled what the beggar woman told her, and she was horrified. You know what happened later? Of course, she lost all her money because of unwise trade. Then the robbers drowned all her ships with a lot of goods. And then the lightning struck her house. And then within a year, she really lost everything, all her property. And the only thing to do was to go to the bridge and to ask the beggar, to ask forgiveness, to apologize, like in front of the beggar, and to ask for money as the beggar was asking. It's open, great. The Museum of Alchemists is open. So this is a wonderful cow. Let's go and explore the kind of courtyard. This is the mysterious courtyard. It's very dark, but probably I will use my other... Oh, no, it's light. You see? Sorry, I had to step away. What is the photo posted, please? What do you mean the photo? About the fish? I will stand here with the cow and explain you. So that was a photo of the fish. That is how the fish swallowed the ring, and the merchant got the ring back. But it means that, like, kind of, this was a bad sign. She lost everything, and she had to go to the Charles Bridge to ask for money as the beggar, because a year before she offensed the beggar. There was a fish, and inside the fish there was a ring. So this is the explanation of the picture. This is what I can found with the fish and the ring inside. We are in an amazing place. This is the scariest museum, one of the most scariest one of the scariest museums in Prague, but also the most beautiful one. And I'm so glad that they have like this courtyard open. Let's explore what we can see here. And I am telling you another scary story. So another frightening vision will be of the skeleton with a long rusty nail. So the next picture will be of the skeleton with a rusty nail inside his head. So once, this is a ghost that also appeared in the in this street in Prague, because there is a skeleton and he's walking along the streets and he has got a nail in his skull. How this ghost appeared here? Probably there is poison, quite big jars for poison. So once there lived the locksmith, and he had a very beautiful young wife. He loved he loved her, and he was very hardworking. So he had a very good business, and everything was okay. But he decided to hire a helper. He decided to hire a helper, and the wife was very beautiful and hot-blooded, and the young helper was good-looking guy. So at first everything was good, but later the wife just loved the helper, and like she fell in love with him, and they became lovers. Do you see these wonderful guys flying in the tree? It's amazing, statues just flying on the tree, and there are they're kind of flashing. Oh my gosh, something is happening. Someone is opening and closing their windows, and I was frightening because I'm in just a very scary place. It's like of the Museum of Medieval things, and everything connected with the magicians, with the alchemists, um, things like that. I'm trying to use the ghost. So let me show you the ghost and finish the story about the locksmith. So these lovers, what they did, they killed him. At first, the wife just nagged her husband about very little things, and then they decided to get rid of this husband because they wanted to be together and they wanted to be happy. And then when he fell asleep, the wife just drove a big nail into his head. And in the morning, she announced that her husband is dead and there is nothing they can do. And her husband had a stroke. The locksmith had long hair, and nobody examined his head. Nobody wanted to examine what really happened, so they buried him. But a few years later, there was not enough place in the cemeteries because all the cemeteries near the churches were full, and they decided to dig old graves. And there was the time when they really discovered that when they opened the coffin, they saw that there is the person, and there is a long rusty nail in the skull of the deceased person. So the grave digger reported to the city authorities, and they were questioned. I mean, the wife and this helper. And then they were also kind of, I don't know what is the sentence, but also they suffered, and probably they were even punished very severely. So this is how the courtyard looks like. It is just amazing. The flying ghosts are here, and there are medieval benches. I will try now to go inside the cafe. Probably I will show you the something connected with alchemists. And then you will hear the frightening story of the executioner and the professor. Look here, I'm trying to use another telephone. Can we open this door? How do you think? We can open that. Let's go inside. Please, if you lose me, don't go away. Come back. I will show you the amazing cafe connected with alchemists and magicians and everything that was happening in the medieval ages. Guys, are you here? My dear Voyagers, are you here with me? Yes, thank you. So you see there is kind of a pipes. There are pipes and the pipes are on the ceiling. Grainy, okay. So, thank you, Beverly. Because the connection is 1 out of 5. I will go outside. Here is a little bit further. Okay. Not okay. We will go out. But still, I try to show you that amazing atmosphere. Okay. I hope that the connection will improve. I will show you myself. So we visited with you the Museum of Alchemists, and we are going outside and continuing our journey along the Nerudova Street. Please let me know if it's better or not. So the story of the executioner. Executioner. Yes, it is much better. I see. I see my connection is restored. So this is the executioner. Please enlarge the image. So there was the executioner, and he supplied corpses to the very famous professor. Professor wanted to kind of to study anatomy. So that was his idea. So he asked the executioner to give him the bodies of the people whom he was killing. And one day the professor went to the house of the executioner. So he just wanted to ask for the permission of the executioner to be present on the decapitation, like when they were cutting, when he will be cutting them the head of the person. So we're leaving this museum. Thank you so much, Joanna. And you know what happened when the professor came to the house of the executioner? There was the sword, the sword with which the executioner was killing everyone, and the sword moved on the wall, like it was hanging on the wall, and it's visibly moved. So according to the very popular belief, that was a very, very bad sign. It means that the person who visited would end his life like by this sword on the scaffold. The professor just grinned, and he told that he is very famous professor and nobody would kill him. Unfortunately, the sword was not mistaken, and this professor was killed in 1621 when there was the bloody theater, when many Czech nobles were executed. There was the kind of uprising against Habsburgs, and many nobles were executed, and he was among them. And this executioner killed him, and he died from that sword. Now I will look at the beautiful souvenirs you can buy here. The cups, I like them because I can warm my coffee and tea in the evening. You see, they are made from metal and you can put them on the stove. So I have 3 kids. Sometimes I make myself coffee in the morning and I can drink it in the evening. So this is why I like this metal cap, really, because it's so useful. So let's go and explore Nerudova Street up to the beautiful Charles Bridge. Look at this amazing puppets hanging here in the windows. Yes, those are pretty much. They don't have light here, so we will go. So that is Nerudova Street, so beautiful. Every house is beautiful. And the next story will be about the very naughty countess. There are like types of people when like there was nothing good for her. She was never satisfied. Everything was not good enough. And this countess, she wanted to have a dress like any. She wanted to have a new dress every single like ball and every single time she was invited to the party. So she had the very, it's one of the courtyards, it's called cafe, but it's beautifully decorated. So she had the dresses of gold and silver cloth and the most precious jewelry and pearls and diamonds. And she had shoes of snake skins and bird skins. And she had coats of fur from foxes and polar bears. And once she decided to have something very, very unusual. Her husband arranged a magnificent ball, and her husband invited the guests, and he wanted the new shoes. So she suffered from the fact that her dress was beautiful pink dress. It was already made, but there were no shoes that would match with all those with this beautiful dress. And she ordered to make shoes from bread. Can you imagine shoes from bread? Um, People sometimes, like people were asking her, how can you imagine the shoes from bread? But she was in this. She wanted them. She was adamant. So the best shoemakers came to her and made her the shoes of fresh bread. They added a little bit of honey and butter, and she wore those shoes on the party. But then she met a man who was wearing black clothes. She invited her for a dance, and he said, just follow me. After they have danced, she was very intrigued. And when I will just show you this shoes made of dress of bread. So they went together downstairs, and this gentleman who was wearing all the black, he said, "Dear Countess, I want to show you something very, very exceptional. Look at your shoes. Only you can appreciate this." And when she looked down on her shoes were burning. Her shoes were burning, and she was running in them. Her legs, her feet were burning, but now nobody could help her. She became mad of pain and terror, and she ran random through the labyrinth of Prague, and she's still running in these streets wearing her burning shoes. When she looked in the eyes of that man, his eyes were burning as well. And probably that was, we don't know, probably the devil came to her to dance with her, but so she was so capricious. So she's still running in these shoes made of bread. So we are coming to the end of this street. And we are coming to the St. Nicholas Church, where I'm going to finish my tour. Or probably I will go with you to the Charles Bridge. If you want, just stay with me and enjoy the tour. I will tell you one more story about the lady and the monastery. So when there will be the beautiful story of them, wonderful lady, like beautiful Laura, who is walking without head on the streets of Prague. Let me show you amazing statues here. So while we are here all together, while you're not gone, this is the end of the end of the tour, but I will walk with you. I wanted to mention that these are the last days of Hego, and I am grateful for these 2 years we spent together. And I'm inviting you to join my YouTube channel, Facebook, Instagram, not to lose connection. I wasn't so much like active on YouTube, but I promise that you will see not just Ukraine, but also I will make beautiful videos about Prague, about Paris, about Vienna. And this will be the way where you can meet me and where we can continue our virtual tours together. Once I reach 1,000 subscribers, I will be streaming on YouTube. Please make sure that you subscribe and push notification button. And please don't just subscribe, but like listen to 1 minute, at least 1 minute of my video, and then just like one of the videos so YouTube will not unsubscribe you. Thank you so much, Vicky. I am posting my links to you. You can always support me by PayPal. That is as my email. You can look in my business card, marvelous.kiev@gmail.com. This is my PayPal. And you can also support me via Buy Me a Coffee. On my last 2 videos on YouTube, there is the link to Buy Me a Coffee. Your hearts are the most precious thing that I have in the world. My family, my kids, and you. I don't know how that happened, but Hego became really special place for me. And I want you to remain with me because I hope I opened my heart for you. I let you in, and I hope that I am living in your hearts as well. Don't lose my contacts, and please just we will try to I don't know to make that happen and to continue communicating somehow. Let's go, and if you want, I will tell you a few more stories. So these are 3 fiddles. Actually, the house of 3 fiddles, the family were making fiddles, the family who lived here. And the story of the beautiful, before telling you the story of Laura. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you. Thank you. So let's go and we will just walk and talk. So there is a family, and the family just buried their. Look at the beautiful courtyards here. In the old times, they buried. They had kind of a family tomb. And they buried the people with the great honors. And once they buried the person who was alive. So he came to consciousness, he opened his eyes, and he just moved the lid of the coffin. But that was too late because they kind of closed this tomb and the coffin. So he shouted, he beat his fists and hands, but at the end he died from exhaustion sitting just near his tomb. And since this time, this family decided to follow one weird tradition. So every time they were burying the next person, they did What? What they did, I will just post the image for you. Probably you will guess. So this family, from like after this accident happened, after this count died and suffered from darkness and hunger and claustrophobia and died just near his coffin, they decided to pierce all the hearts with the knives, so to prevent this misfortune from happening again. They decided to pierce the hearts with a sword of the people who were dying in the family. And since then, the people of that family, their family name was Mitrovica, they were bearing with the knife in their hearts. Can you imagine that cruel tradition? Even if the person was dead, they would pierce the heart with a knife just to make sure that he is not alive. And it is not a legend, it is a true story. They have this tomb and some people buried there. Such an interesting tradition. Thank you for posting that links. I don't know. I hope that the guides will invent something, but it's also cost a lot to run these platforms. So we are already near the St. Nicholas Church, and I will just walk with you and tell you my last story about beautiful Laura without head. So there is a like with the vampires exactly. So there is the church of a convent, even Church of Mary Magdalena, and there was the convent of White Ladies. And there is a strange lady. Her name is Laura. She is walking in the corridors of this convent. She's a beautiful young woman. She is appearing and disappearing again, melting away, and she's wearing a beautiful dress made of pink silk, and she has a red rose around her neck, and she has a lot of gold bracelets hanging on her white arms. Uh, so why is that happened? Why this lady, Laura, why she is walking in the convent with the golden bracelets on her arms? I will just post you the image of Laura. And I will post you the image of my thank yous. Thank you for tipping and for supporting. You can support me via PayPal now, marvelous.kiev@gmail.com, or buy me a coffee under my YouTube videos. So once she was a very famous actress and the most beautiful woman in Prague. So this might be true. And her husband was very jealous. She was very beautiful. She had gentle face, and she had a follower, kind of admirer. He was young and rich, and her husband was very jealous. So once that happened, that she kind of spent a night with this new admirer, and then she appeared in the theater, and her husband noticed that Laura has a lot of presents. She had a lot of golden bracelets in her arms, and he understood that she had a lover, so he killed her, unfortunately. And you know what she did? She sent the head to this admirer, to her lover. Since that time, this beautiful, sad lady is walking on the corridors of the former monastery, and she's looking for someone to help her. That is a strange story. Probably you will believe it or not, but this is one of the Prague legends about beautiful Laura and about the husband who just decapitated her because he was so jealous. And now we are going just to walk and chat. And I will take you to the Charles Bridge, and I will tell you how sad I am because because these are the last tours that I'm having on Hago, and I am carrying this number 8. This is the number of the days left for streaming on Hago. Please join my other tours. We will talk about President Zelensky. On my last tour, I will be just talking about my life on Hago. Please join my tours tomorrow if you're interested in Jewish history. Don't